I never thought 3 weeks ago that I would be doing JT in the Raw show 190 on the coronavirus again. This is the third week in a row that I'm going to do a show on this. Never occurred to me. In fact, what I thought, what would have happened is that it'd be gone. But for many of us, it hasn't gone. And I want to remind us as leaders of our business, leaders of our departments, leaders of teams, there are 3 little messages I want to share with you today. People remember how we are treated at times like this. 2, don't lurch from idea or strategy or idea to strategy to idea or strategy. Don't lurch like that. There must be a strategy in what you are doing. And number 3 is, geez, can we just remember to have some fun? I heard this the other day on the radio, like all the fun's gone out of our life at the moment. Welcome to JT in the Raw, show 190, coming to you live from my office. I am self-isolating in my office. No, I'm not self-isolating. There's nothing wrong with me. How are you feeling? How the hell are you over there in the United States of America?
What do you say to Americans who are watching you right now who are scared?
I say that you're a terrible reporter. That's what I say.
Are you self-isolated? Are you in lockdown wherever you are based now? How is everybody going? Give us a rating out of 10. Pop it in the comments below. Tell me how you are. I want to know. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to JT in the Raw. If this is the first time you're watching it, we talk about leadership, to talk about business strategies, just to talk some shit. And I chew the thin because I have a lot of thins to chew after 30 years in business. And today's show has been inspired by some conversations that I've had this week. Couple of conversations, couple of things I've seen on social media, and a couple of things that I am hearing. So let's rattle them off. And the first one is this. When we are in times of crisis, and I guess I'm air-comering that because depending on where you're watching this in the world, your level of crisis may in fact be varied. But really, people remember how they are treated by you at times like this. Now, I have seen on various platforms comments like, look after your staff at times like this, look after your customers like times like this. See, I want to go one step further and just people. Look after all of your stakeholders, whether they're your staff, whether they're your suppliers, whether they are your customers, whether they are your prospects, whether they are just your frickin' community. Let's look after everybody and let's treat them well. A couple of examples I saw John Nastor posted today that one of his suppliers contacted him and said, hey, I know you're going to be doing things tough at the moment, so why don't we just extend the date that the invoice is due, and you can just fix that up by the end of April as opposed to the end of March. That supplier did not need to do that. That was a beautiful, beautiful thing to do. I saw it in Anytime Fitness Club in the US that they were giving toilet rolls away free to any of their customers or their community. Again, a beautiful gesture. So these are the things that we need to understand. It's times like this where we see the best and perhaps the worst in people, and what we need to understand that they will remember this. They will remember this. I have another client as an example who went to their landlord and said, is there any chance of looking at some sort of rent reduction over the next 60 days, maybe 90 days? And the response from that landlord was nothing short of obscenely rude, treating this individual not like a person, but like a piece of shit. In all honesty, they were treating this person just so poorly. And the hoops that she needed to jump through, for example, sharing 18 months of financials with them to be able to compare month on month to see whether the business has actually had any detrimental effect over the last 30 days. Ladies and gentlemen, she has not walked away with a pleasant taste around the relationship with her landlord. The reality is the way we are treating people when we are under stress and under pressure is what they will remember, because that's how we react. And sometimes we might need to apologize for our reactions, but other times we just need to slow down and breathe. People remember how we are treated. I read about a gym in the US, gym in the US, where they continued to pay their staff even while their staff were not at the gym. I thought that is beautiful. That is a great idea. I understand each one of you in every leadership position are under your own amount of stress. I understand that. But as Jason Lawrence is just saying now, it's times like this people show their true self. Whatever your core values are, whatever you truly believe, this will come through at this time. And so I want us to be thinking about whether we are dealing with our staff, whether we're dealing with our community, or whether we are dealing with our customer. We need to dig deep into ourselves. And sometimes our company policies, sometimes our strategies that we've always had in business, we have to be flexible. That's the challenge I want to give you in business and in leadership, is to have that flexibility. And what does that flexibility look like? Don't know. Only you know that. But what I want to go back to, people will remember how they are treated by you at these times. And while they may not be able to buy your product today or tomorrow or even next week, treat them well and they'll buy from you in the future. Point number 2, don't lurch from idea to idea or strategy to strategy. I got to tell you, whether you're leading a business or a team, there is no shortcut at the moment. In fact, there are very few people who know exactly what to do in this state that the world is in business, the world that the business is in. You see, for some of us, we've been lucky enough or unlucky enough to live through terrorist attacks. We've been lucky enough to live through the GFC, to live through the .com crash, to live through recessions. We've lived through that. We've run businesses through that. And what I know is that businesses that have the clearest strategy and stay on their true north are the businesses that come out the other side. The business that is running a business this way and then lurches over here to another business model and then lurches back and lurches back. The analogy I want to make for you, it's like the person who's caught in traffic and jumps from lane to lane to lane, yet you stay in the one lane, and eventually you actually end up ahead of them. They've bounced around, used a whole bunch of energy in that driving. You've just stayed in the one lane, and maybe you're ahead of them, but you're at least equal with them. So the idea that I want us to think about here, and I see this a hell of a lot, particularly in gyms at the moment. What people are saying is, right, what we need to do is we need to move to online training. Online training is a whole new freaking business. It is not as simple as flicking a switch and going, all right, we're doing online training. And my problem is, unless you do this properly, you could screw this up forever as an opportunity for you. So I want us to think we need clear strategies, and we can't lurch from idea to idea to idea to idea. I'm not saying you don't do online. I'm not saying anything about that. But what I am saying is you've got to be very clear on what strategy you are doing. And you've got to give it time to run. Here's what I need you to be thinking about. You need to think about your strategy, and you must give it time to run. You can't come up with a new strategy and then throw it out there, and if it doesn't work in the first 24 hours, you toss it out the window. It's not going to work like that. So what we need to do is we need to give it time to run. And so before we launch a strategy, we need to write that strategy, because this is what I'm hearing over and over and over again, is that people are going, well, I'm going to launch this new product. I'm going to launch online personal training. I'm going to launch online group fitness training. I'm going to launch telemarketing sales. That's great, But unless you've got a freaking strategy behind it and you've dotted your I's and crossed your T's, it ain't going to work. So you have to slow down. You need to design your strategy, design your plan, and then roll it out. Because you've got to be, as Amanda's saying right now, you've got to be invested in that. You've got to be committed to it. I worry that too many of us are launching products and strategies without clear thinking, without clarity, without knowing what we're trying to achieve. So point number 2 is don't lurch from idea and from strategy, from idea and strategy. Just pick one, go after it. The businesses who understand their true north are the ones that will be most successful at this time. Number 3, let's just have some fucking fun.
It's quite funny. What's wrong with you? I go back in jail, you pay £50 and you can come out again.
I got
right?
50 quid.
You've just been given money. Put yourself back in jail.
No, I'm getting angry with all...
There are so many things going on in the world at the moment. There's so much negativity. What about having some fun? For goodness sakes, kids can no longer do sport. We're losing the opportunity to watch footy or to play footy or to go to footy. We can't go to the theatre. We can't go and watch an orchestra. We've lost the ability to have fun. It's been ripped out of our lives. So my thought for you guys is, how can you put some fun back into your family? Put some fun back into your life. That's what I want us to understand. I want us to think about fun, fun, fun. I would love to see smiles on people's faces. Now, understandably, I have to be 2 or 1.5 or 2 meters from people. But if they've got a big enough smile, I'm going to see it. You know, yesterday I watched Zoe jump on the trampoline for like 2 hours or an hour and a half. And it was like I was watching her have fun, and she got off with a big smile on her face. We've gone down to the netball courts and we've thrown the ball. But it doesn't matter whether it's your family, your friends, or your workmates. Let's think about how we can have some fun. Where there's so much negativity, go back to fun. Nicole's just said board games. Yes, love the idea. Let's all bring out Uno. Maybe we should all take photos of us playing Uno and post that on our social media walls. Bring back the fun. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been tuning in to JT in the Raw. I come to you every single week with hopefully a little bit of energy, a little bit of enthusiasm, and a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of motivation for you guys to get some shit done. Be as human as possible. Have those deep values that every human being has. Be friendly, be caring, be clear thinking, and just be funny. In fact, that's my quote of the week. Be as human as possible. Friendly, caring, clear thinking, and funny. We're all funny, so let's be funny. These are the things that we need to do. These are the things we cannot stop doing. As leaders in our business, we are leaders of a business, we are leaders of a team, we are leaders in our family, and we are leaders in our community. We have a responsibility as leaders to stand up and be counted. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been tuned in to JT in the Raw, show 190. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay distant from people physically.
No, I'm getting angry with all...
Will you leave us
Don't
again?
tell me!
But that's all. Stay close to them every other way that you can. I'll catch you on the flip side.